Hello, Top fans. It's Bill from TopFanRivalry once again for another Clubhouse with some friends of mine. We got Gary, we got John, we got Dave, and we are going to have a fantastic conversation for the next few minutes about the opening week and how our teams fared. A number of folks are going to join us today, but just conflicts with schedules. If you haven't seen it yet, we've got a new category up on the website called Before the Bigs, and Dave was nice enough to grant me an interview to discuss that, and we've got more to come on that facet as well, including an interview with somebody that owns a company that teaches Little Leaguers. But more to come on that. That being said, let's get started. John, tell me about the Angels. That Angels started early on. How are the Angels doing? What do you think? They're up right now, up on Kansas City, but do tell.
Yeah, off to a really, really positive start, especially with the schedule. You know, four games against White Sox, 2 against the Astros, 3 against the Blue Jays. I feel like that's a pretty good start. You're starting off 6-3 against 3 probable playoff teams, and now we got Kansas City, so we'll see what we can do here. But I was pretty impressed with both facets of our game, our pitching, our offense. Angels can hit the baseball. I mean, I think they've homered in every game so far this year, and that's pretty impressive. Anthony Rendon went on the DL today, so not good there. Dexter Fowler's out for the year, also not good there. But they still got Mike Trout, who hit 500 against the Blue Jays, had 3 home runs in a row in a game. I mean, in three games in a row. Ohtani is hitting really well. He's running really fast. He's a blister on his finger, so he hasn't been able to get a second start yet. But I think, you know, they're a big part of what their success is giving Jared Walsh playing time. Finally realizing that Pujols should be a part-time player and Jared Walsh should be an everyday player, which adds just an additional bat to their already deep lineup. So pretty excited about the start. 6-3 is nothing to be ashamed about. So, you know, we went toe to toe with Dave's White Sox there and won 3 out of 4. So it was
why do you think this is Gary?
Go ahead, Gary.
Why? Mainly based on production,
or maybe his age.
Well, he's like 45 now, so that's probably something that's going to hurt your production. He was a negative WAR, I believe, the last 2 years. If you add up his WAR the last 2 years, I think it came to a negative. So he's actually worse than having nobody out there. So it's just time. It's time. He's had a great career. He's probably one of the
he's probably going to make the
right-handed hitters.
If he's going to go part-time, what's he going to do? Pinch hit and fill in once in a while or something?
I would hope at some point here he becomes a 2 days a week starter.
And he would pretty much DH, right?
Well, he can't DH because Shohei's going to DH.
Oh, geez. Okay, gotcha.
So Shohei can't. Well, he probably could, but they're not putting him in the outfield probably don't want to get him hurt. And Jared Walsh plays first base, but with Dexter Fowler's injury, that actually opens up a spot for Pujols. If Walsh plays right field, then
Pujols he can probably play first base. You don't need a lot of athletic ability to play first base.
Yeah.
I've never played first base, so I can't really say, but I'm just saying you don't have to run all over the outfield.
You don't need much. Probably he could probably stand there and catch the ball. But as of now, good start for the Angels. Good start for their pitching. Alex Cobb's pitching well today so far, throwing a shutout against the mighty Royals. Jose Quintana, no good there, but so far so good.
So John, one comment that I have, and I don't know if this is something that is a cause for concern for you, but the Angels are negative run production. So they've scored 48 and given up 53. Is that something that you think will manage itself out, or are we just rolling the dice here? Is that what do you think?
Well, when you lose one game like 18-1, that's gonna happen.
That's gonna hurt that number. Good point. So touche.
You take away that Blue Jay. I think I don't know, 16-1, something like that.
Yeah.
You take away that, it's not too bad, right? And obviously you can't give up. I mean, that's been our weakness, right? Pitching turned in some pretty good outings so far. Just ask Dave. You saw it, 4 games.
Yeah, we should have come out of that with a split. We gave one game away at the end. That Walsh kid, I'm pretty sure I don't care if I ever see him again. He hurt us at least twice. But boy, he can hit.
Yeah, he can hit the fastball, and they're starting to get a little bit of book on him with off-speed pitches, but the White Sox kept pumping fastballs, and he kept turning on them.
Yeah.
So
I chalk that up to early season baseball, and
yeah.
So John, I get a text message from Dave and I are texting on the Sunday night baseball game, right? When was that the night that Walsh walked off? Yeah, I think that was the night, right?
Yeah.
And Dave
it was Sunday night baseball, of course.
Yeah. Dave texts me and he says, I don't like this matchup. And then 2 pitches later, game over. I'm like, get out of Anaheim. Leave. Go.
Left center, a nice little head down. I just got that one and did his little trot.
And that was the night
celebrated at home plate.
That was the night that the ESPN guys were drooling all over Ohtani all night. He hits the home run in the first inning, pitched well, but midway through the game it was tied. And it was a game. So. But they never spent more than a minute talking about the White Sox. They were talking about Ohtani the whole night.
Yeah, I noticed that. He had that. He threw 100 miles an hour in the first inning, and then he hit 115 off the bat in the first, and then that's all they talked about the rest of the night.
But on our side, there's a lot of good things. The defense has been very disappointing, and the bullpen has not really done what everyone expected. And I think it's probably a reflection of the fact that some of those young guys were playing over their head last fall, and everybody's had a whole winter to watch them and kind of game plan them. And they're probably not as sharp right now as they will be midseason. But how about Yerman Mercedes, career minor leaguer, 29-year-old dude. And I just looked, he's got 15 hits already. I think he was against the Angels, something like 8 for 11 or something.
Yeah, I got hits in the first 8 at bats. I'm like, talk about a guy. I didn't know his whole life. The guy looks like he's rock solid with biceps as big as my thighs. The guy's freaking huge.
Yeah, and his bat is as quick as anybody.
So they lost one of the best players in baseball, and they brought up this guy. He's just as good.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of where the White Sox are at now. We lost Eloy. We lost Tim Anderson in that series that night on Sunday Night Baseball. And then we've had at least one other guy out that they really could use. And the injuries are starting to hurt. Hopefully these guys get back soon. Starting pitching's been good. It was good to see Carlos Rodon come back. We gave away a game in Seattle too. So we got to stop doing that. Should be 2 wins better than we're showing. But all in all, it's okay. Playoff spots aren't won in the first 2 weeks. We're up 3-2 on Cleveland right now. Let's make sure that sticks.
Yeah, David, I'm looking at your schedule. You've got Cleveland for 4, Boston, who's playing out of their mind right now. They're playing far better than they really are. and then for 3, and then Cleveland for 2. So your next 9 games, it looks like 6 of them are with Cleveland. So that may be a spot where you can kind of catch up a little bit and catch your breath, and some of that's at home. So that will play itself out. Mercedes is amazing. And I'm telling you guys, this kid, Robert, he's the real deal too. He's no joke. That kid can play too. So, Gary, tell me about
the hitters are not quite where they need to be yet. Abreu's getting owned by the low sliders.
Yeah.
Yaron Mercedes is coming up right now, but Moncada's not hitting yet. Madrigal's so it'll get better.
Yeah, the White Sox are going to win that division. That's not a fantastic division. It's actually, I think, theirs to lose. And I mean, I think there's a lot of good going on in that clubhouse, and La Russa has that capacity to draw those younger guys to him because he's got so much history and he's done it. I mean, are you going to tell La Russa, it's like Joe Torre, you going to tell Joe Torre to go, take a hike? No, of course not. You can tell La Russa? No, they're Hall of Fame managers, right? They got World Series rings. You're not going to mess with these guys. And so, and I watched on Sunday Night Baseball, actually I watched 2 of the 4 of those Angels games. And the team, the players seem to respect La Russa, even though La Russa doesn't look healthy. I mean, they seem to respect him. So that's good, right?
Yeah, we'll see. It's been a mixed bag so far. Some of the moves he's made have been good. Some of them leave your head scratched. And so it's a mixed bag. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah.
I think all in all, it'll be fine. We need a little more of a sample size.
Yeah.
There were a couple in the Angel series where I was kind of scratching my head at too. I remember thinking, he's not up on the times. But I can't remember what specifically they were, but I just remember.
La Russa is going to be a good manager, but it's 9 games, right? You got to take this Cleveland series. You got to get, 4 out of 6 or 5 out of 6 out of these guys. 6 out of 6 would be great. So.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Anderson's supposed to come back Thursday. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to ask them to go and beat a rival like that when you've only got 6 of your 9 regulars in the lineup. So.
Yeah.
I guess at that point you're relying on pitching mostly.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, Gary, take us to the Bay. Tell us about the Bay. What's going on up there?
Well, it's been warmer than down here, believe it or not, which is really interesting. This is Southern California. But Giants are 6-3 going into tonight, which nobody would have predicted. So that's pretty good to start with. And then last year, I'm working on that article. Last year, they did a lot better than anybody thought. In fact, they tied for the last playoff spot. But their last game, they'd have been in the playoffs. So, and they were supposed to come in like dead last place. I mean, not just in the West, but out of everybody. I think Gabe Kaplan, even though I wasn't a real big hero of him when he got when Bochy left, I think he's done a really good job. And they still have Votis on third base, and he's been there for like 20-something years. I mean, like forever, as long as I can remember. So, they're looking in pretty good shape. They have a pretty decent lineup. I mean, you've got all-stars like Crawford, Posey, and Longoria. And then you've got a couple of guys that are real close to making the all-stars, like Belt and that little kid, not little, trust me, I'm little, Yastrzemski. I mean, Mike Yastrzemski is just amazing. I can't believe that kid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the lineup looks pretty good. Pitching has looked a lot better than I would have expected. Obviously, they have Cueto. He's a star every year. Guzman's look good. DeStefano's looked incredibly good. I think he threw 8 shutout innings or something like that yesterday. Sanchez has looked good. And then McGee, the closer, has looked really good. And then the relievers have been up and down, but a couple of the guys look good. So I think Kaplan will figure it out. I mean, I hate to say that, because obviously I'm a Giants fan, but they've looked pretty good so far, and I'm not going to complain about it. Last year they had a slow start. Nobody paid any attention to them. They were supposed to come in last place, and they made a run towards the end of the season, just came a little bit short. I mean, I know it was a short season, which means an asterisk next to the Dodgers. You know that, right, Bill?
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. And
this guy.
Anyway, you other guys don't know, and it's going to be in my article whenever I get done with it for Bill. I was actually in the stadium when they had the earthquake back in '89. It was pretty insane. I'll leave it at that.
All right. On that note, John, you mentioned pitching. Dodgers started out 8-2. And in reality, we gave away both games. We could conceivably be 10-0. Opening day, I've never seen this in my entire life, where on the same play, a guy hits the ball over the wall, gets called out, gets credited for a single and an RBI. Right? Tell me when you've ever seen that happen.
What happened? It bounced off somebody's glove or something?
No, so it went over the wall. The outfielder caught it, tried to bring it back, and dropped it. Justin Turner was on first, ran around second, and then thought he caught it. So then he turned back to come back to second and then first, and he passed Bellinger. So Bellinger get called out. Justin Turner scores. He can run until the play's done. So he scores, and Bellinger gets credited with a single for hitting the ball out of the yard. Never seen that in my entire life.
Didn't that only happen in Little League?
Yeah. That literally, the umpires were kind of huddling together trying to figure out what to do with this play. And then, the game that we lost up in Oakland, I want to say, up in Oakland, that was a Kenley Jansen special. John likes to talk about Albert Pujols being old, but I think Kenley Jansen is not closer material anymore. He gave us that loss, but we're 8-2, 3 with the Rockies starting up here, and then 3 with the Padres, and a couple with the Mariners, and then back to the Padres. So in our next 15 games or so, we see the Padres for 7 of them and the Reds for 3 of them. And the Giants see the Marlins in their next 13 games, 7 of those 13 games. So that's helpful because the Marlins will lose 100 games this season. So that's our game recap. So now let's talk about the craziness. So let's talk about what MLB has done. And I have a personal vendetta against Cardinals because they are always our kryptonite. They always knock the Dodgers out of the playoffs, it feels like, and obviously the Giants. But so Yadier Molina starts a fight in Cincinnati and doesn't get anything happen to him. Castellanos gets suspended for 2 games. Why is Yadier Molina the golden boy? Let's ask about that. And then maybe, how about that replay from last night, right? Was the guy really safe at home? Did he really touch it? Has he touched home plate yet? Let's talk about it.
Well, I thought the Castellanos suspension was super. LB saying we don't want any bench clearing balls so that nobody gets COVID, right? And so they had to blame somebody, and they blamed Castellanos when in fact he was the one that got hit with the pitch. He hit the homer the day before, and he pimped it. And the next day he got hit with the pitch, as they're likely to do, right? He knows it. He got hit in the ribs. It was hurt, right? He didn't do anything. He went to first base. When he scored on a pass ball, the pitcher again landed on top of him, and he scored. He was safe. He got up and just flexed. That's all he did. He flexed his muscles on the pitcher like they do every play in the NFL. And Yadier got in between them, and all of a sudden there was this bench clearing brawl, and Castellanos gets a 2-game suspension. That was
That's what I'm talking
weak.
about.
Weak.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Why is Yachty the golden boy? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, nobody should have got suspended. It wasn't even, and all Castellanos did was flex his muscles. He didn't do anything. He didn't instigate anything. He's the one that got hit by the pitch.
Yeah.
I'll jump in. I don't have an answer for you, but I think if I'm going to say anything about Yachty and being the golden boy, A, he's a catcher, and B, he got in broke it up. I mean, I didn't see it, so I don't have a really good answer for you. But maybe that has something to do with it. I mean, let's face it. He's like you said, he's a golden boy, and that's just the way they look at it. He broke up, and he's a catcher, and he's an all-star. I mean, what are you going to do? Suspend an all-star?
So a couple years
it
back,
should be the same justice for everybody.
It shouldn't be. I'm just saying. I'm trying to give you
Dave.
why it happened.
And if you watch, Castellanos has no body language towards anybody. He actually backs away, and then after the game, he says, "I got nothing but respect for Yadier Molina." Once he started talking to me, I was like, "Okay, bro. Like, I got nothing. That guy can hit. He goes, that guy can hit me in the face, and I'll still ask for his autograph."
I actually like that. So,
yeah.
And then the guy gets suspended for 2 games.
I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, umpires are umpires. Whatever.
So,
you know what the shame of it is not the fight part, but that's the kind of emotion, and that's the kind of just display of just hard-nosed baseball that people want to see.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what attracts viewers. It's not.
Well, remember when Pete Rose dived into Ray Fosse like 20, 30 years ago or whatever it is, and took him out? I think it was Ray Fosse. I can't remember. But it was an all-star game. And it was like, it's an all-star game, guys. You're supposed to try and get along. And he pretty much took him out like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah, it ended his career.
I wish Jackson were on, because Jackson would look this up in quick time for us. But do you guys remember when Brandon Phillips, when he was playing for Cincinnati, was talking some trash in the media about the Cardinals? And then the Cardinals, he comes up to the plate the next day and he taps Yadier's shin guard and just says, "Hey, how's it going?" And Yadier gets up, takes off his mask, takes off his everything, and starts this brawl with Brandon Phillips. Brandon Phillips is the one that got suspended. Yadier didn't start anything. Yadier threw the first punch. And so he was just ticked off that Brandon Phillips was talking to the media. So I don't know.
Well, like I said, baseball needs personalities, and they need people to show emotion and be the hard-nosed baseball player and show that on television. And decisions like that discourage it. You can't, if you want to sanitize the game, no one's going to watch.
It's true. That's true.
You got to sell tickets, and you got to sell advertisement on TV, and whatever else you got to sell.
Well, and in all reality, Dave, you're right. I mean, let's be honest, right? We enjoy watching a no-hitter. We enjoy watching pitchers do that Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw thing. We can respect it because we all played the game. But your average viewer is not going to be watching that.
No. The average viewer thinks baseball's boring, and they watch for 3 innings and go find something else, if they watch at all. So you've got to have things like that are going to attract them. I mean, so when Cincinnati plays St. Louis the next time, do you think that would be a draw, like rematch? I think that's how it always is in hockey. Once you have a bad situation happen, everybody marks the calendar for the next time those teams play. Ratings go up, attendance goes up, everybody's happy. So I think you got to encourage that stuff within reason.
I think you nailed that. Why do you think people watch hockey? They don't want to see the game because there's only like 2 goals or 5 goals in a game. They're just about the fights.
Dave, you reminded me of, what was it, about 10 years ago when the Devils and the Rangers had that situation in New Jersey. And then next thing you know, there was all 10 guys on the ice started brawling at puck drop at the Garden. Like, there you go.
Well, and we're off on a tangent now, but if you look at hockey right now, because of COVID, you've got teams staying in one city for 2 and 3 and 4 game series.
Mm-hmm.
They play each other multiple times in a row. By that third game and the fourth game, they don't like each other. And those are fun games to watch because it's more like playoff hockey. Guys are getting hit, smashed into the boards, all kinds of stuff's happening off the puck. And that's what you want to see. So it's the same thing in baseball. You got to encourage that stuff within reason. You don't want all out brawls and people getting hurt. But man, I mean, tell me that Nick Castellanos isn't good for the game.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And he's just the guy that also just laces it up to lace it up and to play. I mean, he's not the guy he's not the, it's not a mad bum versus Puig thing. I mean, he's just, and it's not going to happen. It may not happen again, but when they go to Cincinnati or St. Louis, sure, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
So, how about last night? How about the play at the plate? What did you guys think?
Well, I didn't see it, so.
Well, it seems to me that it was a cop-out, that the umpire called him safe. I'm not sure what he was watching, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he doesn't have 48 replays at every different speed available to him. But the league basically said they didn't have anything convincing to overturn the call on the field, which is just a complete cop-out.
Well, maybe I'm crazy, but I think baseball doesn't have, and tell me if I'm wrong, they don't have 48 replays like football does because the games are so dang slow and long anyway. They just don't want to delay it that much more. Do you think I'm right or wrong?
I don't know if they have another angle that we don't know of. It looks like that foot never touched the base. So
it's
see,
really...
they don't go to the cameras like basketball and football and go check out everything before they come back out. And I think it has to do with the fact that the games are so long as it is and so slow as it is that they just don't want to go there and they want to leave it to, the call on the field kind of thing.
Well, see, and Gary, you missed it last night, but this was the top of the ninth. And
I didn't see it.
Yeah, this is the top of the ninth, and this put Philly ahead. If he's called out at home plate and it looks like his foot goes over the base but never touches home plate, where it would have been easier to see at first, second, or third, right? Because the base is standing up.
Got it.
But it doesn't look like he ever. I mean, in every angle that they showed on TV, even the Phillies knew that he was out. And so, but John, did you see the play?
I did. I was watching the game. I saw it. I saw it, and I thought he was safe at first, and then when they went to the replay, you could tell that his foot never touched the bag, but he gets tagged high, so the umpire's looking probably at that, and he's assuming that he's hitting the base on it with his foot. But as you slide, sometimes your foot goes high, right, instead of low, and he never touched it back down, and it was pretty obvious that he didn't hit the plate. I was surprised that they called him safe after the long replay. And it just kind of makes me really not a big fan of replay. The Angels had a replay the other night that took 10 minutes. I'm not kidding.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan either.
They went back to it after the call.
Yeah.
They called it. And then they put the headsets actually back on, and it was a couple more minutes. I was like, this is ridiculous. And then they end up calling it a wrong anyway. They were wrong with I would have, if I was Joe Madden, I actually would have
protested.
Called the game. I would have said, this game's under protest because it was an incorrect.
Well, maybe he should have done that. I mean,
the guy slid into second, not even close to the bag, and took out our shortstop. Like, you can't do that anymore. You have to slide directly into the bag. He slid way outside of the bag, took him out, bad throw. And they went to replay for like 10 minutes trying to decide if it was a bad slide. Not only did they say it wasn't a bad slide, run scores, but they actually said Jose Iglesias didn't touch the bag while he was catching the ball. So all the runners are safe.
Yeah.
So by the Angels actually appealing the call, it screwed them out of an out because they originally called the guy out at second. So it was like the craziest And then Joe Madden got kicked out of the game.
I didn't even
know.
Like I said, I didn't know anything about the game. So
the very next play was a bang play at first. Joe Madden appealed it. It was really close. They went to the headsets for less than 30 seconds after going 10 minutes for the play before. And they're like, no, be safe. Be safe. And Joe Madden's like,
I really think there's more to the story. And I think the league is afraid of the umpires union and afraid of making umpires look bad. Yeah. And because
that makes sense.
You can't tell me that in 2021, with as long as replay has been around, that they haven't had time to figure out how to do it right by now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a joke.
All right,
somebody should have like the ultimate say, like the head of the umpire crew or somebody in New York basically say, no.
You just think it's turned into like pop-up slides are now being called outs because their foot's off the bag for like half a second. That's like, it totally ruins the whole premise of the game. Like, you're safe at second. Just because you pop up for half a second doesn't make you out, right? Oh, I keep the tag on you for 10 seconds, for an extra second. This just ruins baseball, in my opinion. Or you turn a double play and your foot just happens to, miss the bag as you're turning it. That's been done for 50 years. You're out. Okay. The throw beats you, you're out. And now we've turned into this replay where the shortstop holds the tag on you until he pushes you off the bag. And now you're out. It's just ruined, in my opinion, ruined a lot of baseball.
Dave,
some of this discussion reminds me of, and Bill, you're gonna love this, frickin' tuck roll.
Yeah.
Tom Brady field laughing, going, I fumbled the ball, and he got it back, and they beat the Raiders and went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, don't get me started on that. I'm a
well,
big
so am I,
and
so is Bill.
Yeah, the three of us are big Raider fans. Yeah. Dave, did you see the play
the Raiders Super Bowl?
Dave, did you see the play that John's talking about, or did you hear about it or read about it?
No, I did not see it.
It was.
I saw the one Sunday night, but not that other one.
You should go back and watch. Literally for 10 minutes they're on that headset, and they kind of sort of make a call, and then the Blue Jays manager comes out and says something, and then they put the headset back on, and then everybody's safe. He must have challenged whether or not Iglesias touched the base, and ball to foot to bag. Listen, when you're in the area, that's always been kind of the rule. But the slide, I mean, this guy, in order to touch first base, he would have had to be Superman and extend his arms out to touch that base. Because Iglesias caught the ball on the second base side as a shortstop and came around the base, and the guy took him out on the second base side. It was a terrible, terrible, terrible call. And there's something.
I don't get it.
You guys must be right. There must be something with the union. This is crazy. Crazy.
Well, they should have been able to figure out how to do it better than they're doing it now. I mean, this isn't new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The nice part about it, though, the positive part is baseball's back. There are players that are playing very, very well. As much as I hate to admit this, Acuna is playing out of his mind right now. I mean, he has started red hot. Boston's won their last six, which who would have saw that happening? I mean, there's a lot of fun things.
We lost. Padres lost their shortstop.
Yeah. Padres lost. Rumor has it he's coming back on Thursday, though.
Really?
Yeah. Rumor has
That's
it that he's taking batting practice. What's that? I missed that.
That's a tough injury. Tough injury to come back from in any sport.
It is. But rumor has it that he's coming back on Thursday, so we'll see. All right, around the horn, boys.
Well, I just have to point out one thing too. The Chicago Cubs are hitting 163 as a team, and they've lost to the Pirates 2 times we're 8-1 and 7-1.
Oh, and Rob Peterson
so
was
that
going to get on.
warms my heart.
Rob Peterson was going to get on tonight. I'm going to make sure that he sees that part of the clip. That's funny. Oh, because your love affair
8-2
with the
and
Cubs.
7-1. Sorry, the last two scores. Yeah.
There.
Well,
Well,
they're down
163.
6-1 tonight.
Yerman Mercedes, I think, has more hits than their entire team.
I feel
Very close
so
anyway.
bad. I feel so bad for the Cubs. Let me tell you.
Oh, I'll never feel bad for the Cubs. Sorry.
That's kind of my point.
all right, round the horn. 90 seconds, 30 seconds apiece. John, any last comments?
My last comments are this: Alex Cobb is better than you.
Yeah,
He's got more whiffs on his slider than probably even Clayton Kershaw to this point.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Watch out for Alex Cobb, boys.
Woo! Alex
Throwing
Cobb.
Throwing a shutout right now.
Against mighty Kansas City.
Just got to keep your boys healthy.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Dave, final thoughts?
Gosh. Final thoughts are we're going to get healthy here and go on a little roll here. That's what I'm looking for. The bullpen's going to start putting up zeros.
Okay. I like it. Gary, final thoughts?
All I'm going to say is Giants go 6-3 to start. I got to like it. And going through what was their biggest problem, which is pitching, it's looked pretty good. I mean, the closer looks awesome. 3 of the 5 starters will look good. And we might not catch the Dodgers, but a wild card, you never know. I mean, 2 of those 3 years that we won the World Series, we were wild cards. So.
Hey, Gary.
Yo.
Whenever Dusty Baker gets to Anaheim, he has nightmares taking out their pitcher in the 6th inning there, up 5-0.
Baker, I have no. Trust me, I'm with you. I cannot stand Dusty Baker.
Up 5-0, and he walks to the mound and he hands him the baseball. Says, "This is the World Series baseball. You're gonna keep it for the rest of your life."
I know. Trust me. I know. I owned my own bar at the same time, sports bar. We had the place packed. Everybody was Angel fans, and they had those. What they call those things?
Thunder sticks, baby. The thunder
sticks. And then the Giants screwed it up, and everybody was throwing thunder sticks in my face. Oh, it was just so bad.
If only Reggie Sanders could actually jump at the wall, he would have caught that Scott Spiezio 3-run homer.
Well, only if Dusty Baker knew how to use a pitching staff.
That's true.
See, this is the fun of it, boys, when we can do this. I want to thank my friends Dave and Gary and John for being on tonight. Thank you for the analysis on the Cubs. That's well worth it. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do like it below. There's some articles on the website. By all means, feel free to comment on those and or go to the Before the Bigs page. So TopFanRivalry is going to be highlighting athletes, both high school and college athletes that are coming up as best as we can on that area over time. So feel free to take a look at it and enjoy it. There's going to be a lot of good information there as well. So we appreciate you being on tonight and enjoying it. And we will definitely talk to you soon.